Hi, welcome to Fishing in the Midwest. I'm Mike Frisch. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm at Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Now, I bought my newest truck from Nelson Auto Center, and I gotta tell you, their service after the sale is second to none. Next time you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, check out Nelson Auto Center. Today we're headed to one of my favorite Midwest fishing destinations. It's a place that is a panfish mecca. Big bluegills, crappies, and perch. Today we're going to focus on the bluegills and crappies. Let's go to Big Stone Lake. Get in the boat. Let's go. Today we've traveled to Big Stone Lake on the Minnesota-South Dakota border, and Big Stone is a favorite destination of mine. It has been for several years, and as time goes on it just gets more and more appealing to me, and the reason is because these last, I don't know, 8-10 years or so, these panfish, the bluegills and the crappies have really started to come on, plus the bass have come on. It's always been a really good walleye lake, but now there's a lot to offer the multi-species angler.
We started the morning off at the bait shop and kind of put a game plan together as for where we wanted to go and hit the water. Today we're fishing panfish. It's early summer. You know, a lot of the bluegills are just moving on to the beds. As far as some of the crappies we're after, those are kind of transitioning to their post-spawn period. But early summer, there's a lot of different kinds of fish biting, but today the panfish are our focus. Feels like one of them hard-fighting bluegills.
He's moving around pretty good.
Yep, you can see he's got some of the weeds with him that he's hiding in down there. But definitely not gonna be our biggest one for the day, but it's a start. What do you got going on back there?
He's pulling hard. There's nothing wrong with that one, Tanner.
Just a good old-fashioned double.
There you go.
It's a good way to start it.
Yep.
I just don't like the yours is a little bit bigger than mine.
Of course it is.
Big Fish Mike's on the board.
Big Fish Mike, let's get some more. So we got out in the water and Tanner got us into an area that was just jam-packed with bluegill beds, so we were pretty confident that there was fish around. We could see the beds on the side scan, and there was fish around, and our first bites were a double. That was a pretty good omen. It was fish after fish after fish. It was fun. A drag stretcher, Tanner.
I like it.
Look at that rod bend. That's pretty good fish right there. Look at that. That's a bluegill cutting up like he's a largemouth bass. Another pretty one. Another pretty big one.
It's good fish, Mike.
That is good fish. Oh man, is that a beautiful fish. Look at that, Tanner. Huh?
That's the way we make them out here. It's fun.
Yep.
We got a lot of good quality fish like that.
Yep. Hooked up, Tanner?
Yep. I don't know if this one's gonna be a bluegill. Oh, it is too. He's just one of them big ones. Oh yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, this time of year out here, you get these bluegills moving up to spawn, and they get pretty concentrated. It's a lot of fun. Of course, this time of year we do like to see guys practicing catch and release, but like I say, I mean, when you get bluegills like that, it's a fun time of year, and you can get a lot of them. We started out the morning focusing on the bluegills with the slip bobbers. We got off to a real good start, and it started producing really well with some nice quality fish. But we had a lot of bluegills in that 9, 10, 10.5 inch range on the top end. Very simple presentation to run. The slip bobber rig, just on top you got your slip knot, you got a slip bobber, and then we're running that shoe shiner jig on the bottom, tipped with a wax worm, and that was a deadly combination for us today.
They are a fun fight. Look at him cutting left, coming back right.
You're kind of on them right now too.
Every once in a while. Look at him. Look at that. Just all over. No give up.
That's your best one yet, Mike?
Yep. There's the goodest one.
Good. To say we get them that big, you almost might need a landing net.
Look at that. Slab. Woo.
That's a good one, Mike. Nice work.
Yeah, you bet. I'll take them all day long. That is a big gill. Any place you go.
Fishing the Midwest is brought to you by G3 Boats, Yamaha Outboards, Strike King Lure Company, and Lou's Fishing.
Got a little screaming drag here. Yes, sir. How fat he is. Look at that. How fat that gill is. Hand size. Tanner, hand size. Another thing, Tanner, that's cool about Big Stone is you have no closed fishing season anymore, correct?
No, we're open year round out here. You know, and for these bluegills and actually like the crappies this spring, we had some crappies early season before the opener going, as well as guys getting out for walleyes. So not having that closed season is a huge bonus out here. You can get out on the water before anybody else can in the rest of the state. So it's kind of a cool benefit being on the border.
These fish, you got the bait close to them. When they're on a bed, they're probably gonna bite, and that's the way it was today. Like I said, fish after fish after fish, it just didn't stop.
And if you look in the middle, there's some white dots in the middle of them, like that one up there.
It's a fish.
They're fish in the beds. So, yep, that's what we're looking for.
Oh, there we go.
Big one.
I can tell. I don't know.
They all feel pretty
They
big.
all feel good. He hasn't grabbed any drag yet, so maybe he's not that big.
Well, he ain't that small, I can promise you that.
You saw him, didn't you?
He's looking good down there.
Oh yeah. Come here, boy. You get in here. Belly. The Mike Frisch of bluegills right there. Let him run a little bit, Tanner.
Usually with these ones, you don't have to let them run. They kind of just do it themselves.
He's cutting it up. He's not that big either. But there's lots of places where that's a nice one. Here it's just an average one. So I was using the Pro Target. That's another one of Wally's rods. It's you know, designed for casting the targets on you know, with panfish, and it's got a nice, you know, light limber action, but it loads up pretty nice when you get a fish, and it's really fun to fight the fish on that Pro Target crappie rod by Mr. Marshall himself. It's kind of interesting. Wally and I, we kind of argue about line, and I've always told him that the lakes in Minnesota in the Midwest are too clear for that bright colored line, and he's kind of convinced me that there's more advantages to that bright colored line than there are disadvantages, and I don't think the fish spook from it anymore either, so I like the Mr. Crappie High Vis line.
How come all the big ones are back by you, Mike?
I know why. Good clean living.
Good clean living. I think most places you go, they don't call that a little one though. We're a little spoiled out here. But.
Tanner, this is a 7-foot rod with a nice soft action. It makes fighting these bluegills so much fun. The Pro Target Wally Marshall rod. Wally does a good job making panfish stuff.
He knows what he's doing.
Look at that one, huh? And not only is that on a Wally Marshall rod, that's the new shoe shiner, Mr. Crappie jig. Whew. Yes, sir. Wally would say, Jimmy Houston, be proud of me.
Oh yeah. Man, these things don't get old. especially not when they come that size.
Another nice one.
Beautiful fish. And you can see it's still getting wrapped up in the weeds down there. Basically, what we're fishing this spring is these fish moving into spawn. You can see the tails beat up there again. And we got a hard spot in the weeds here, so there's no weeds growing up on top and they're doing their spawning, but it's weeds completely surrounding them. So it makes a good little spot for these guys to hang out and do their job, but we're gonna get them back so they can protect the beds and keep them around here for years to come. Generally early spring like this, or early summer that is, you see the bluegills really kind of at their peak and the most vulnerable. And we do like practicing catch and release this time of year because of that reason. But this time of year can be a lot of fun. They're grouped up in the shallows. Works great for families coming out. You know, we got lots of action all day long. And that's just perfect when getting the kids out in the water.
Hooked up, Tanner Arndt.
We are hooked up. Ooh, thinks he's a bass. I like bluegills that think they're a bass. We haven't been out here that long, but we have caught a pile of them already. And when that's one of your smaller ones for the day, you've had a good day.
That one attacked it.
And Mike's got another one.
If I'd been a little quicker, we could have had a double, Tanner.
I would say it's still a double. Mine's in my hand.
Oh, is it? I thought you tossed back. Mine's not very big. Well, I mean, considering.
8.5 inches aren't very small when you consider the state of Minnesota.
Exactly. Yeah, any place else, we'd be oohing and on over this one.
Yeah, crazy. Good looking fish. Yeah, I think this is one of them real ones. Man, are these things fun.
Big one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great big one.
He's
Look at
cutting
that.
her up.
Wow,
Oh yeah.
that is a big one there.
Fishing the Midwest is brought to you by Hanna's Marine, Explore Alexandria Tourism, Starbright, and Superior Industries.
After going through the bluegills, you know, we kind of switched gears a little bit, going over to the crappies, and we did more of that cast and retrieve style of fishing for them. Crappies this time of year are going to be more in that post-spawn stage, so we don't have them quite as grouped up, so we had to cover a little bit more water, and it did work well doing a cast and retrieve for that. Switched spots and switched over to the shad pole, and we got one of these good-looking dark crappies out here. That's like we were talking before, it's not just the bluegills, but we've got some real dandy crappies that are starting to show up out here in good numbers too.
Heck yeah. Another species crappie. Big Stone's got him.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those dark ones that is up on the beds just getting finished up with their spawn, but we'll get them back. Good looking fish.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about Big Stone. Number one, you're never going to get bored because it seems like there's always some species of fish that's on the bite. You just have to be able to adjust and adapt if you want to stay on the best bite. The other thing that I love is I just love the variety that we can fish bluegills, catch them good, we can switch to crappies.
Nope, big crappie.
Oh yeah.
And unlike the last one, this is a big silver one of the big females. Man, that's a nice fish. That one's got to be pushing 13. But he just swallowed that shad pole here. Got in this different spot and got some more rock. And that's where these guys are hanging out this time of year. So shad pole, rock equals big crappie.
So today what we did is we used the power poles for the very first time, and I was excited to try them, and I gotta say I'm even more excited after we used them today. I mean, we would pull up to spots where there was a lot of beds. A lot of them, the areas we fished was where there was opening in the weeds, and we would pull up, get right on the edge of those openings, pull down, and the boat doesn't move. And it's so convenient. We want to move to the next spot, hit the remote, poles come up, travel to the next spot, poles go down, and we're sitting there. We're not moving around. We're not battling the boat. We're not battling the trolling motor. A power pole is going to be a game changer for me as a multi-species angler. I can see that after one day.
Nice crappie.
What we got here, Tanner?
Crappie. I looked over the side of the boat and this water's clear enough I could see a big rock down there.
There you go.
And I said there should be a crappie on that one. And there was. Good looking crappie though. Like I say, in Big Stone, it seems like these are multiplying and rather quickly. The last couple of years, our numbers have gone real good on the crappies as well as the bluegills like we were catching earlier. So, a lot of fun.
Ooh!
So there was one on that rock,
There was one on that rock, Tanner. Ooh. It was almost a release. I think that's my first crappie, and you know what I did? I just put on the Slabalicious with the paddle tail, and wham. Maybe I'm onto something, we'll see.
Fishing the Midwest is brought to you by Nelson Auto Center, Distinctive Cabinet Design, Railblazer, and Power Pole.
Fish on.
Fish on. What do you got, Tanner?
Bluegill.
Bluegill.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. A little bit bigger than normal presentation for the bluegills, but we don't complain when they start eating bigger baits. Get her back. Growing up in the area, you know, I gotta be honest, we're pretty spoiled out here. You know, we talk about the fishing, but there's great hunting. It's a great community, you know, a small town community where everybody's pretty positive, and it's just a fun atmosphere to be in.
But we've also got a lot of other amenities around here that are kind of fly under the radar a lot of times. We have a great state park up to the north here and down to the south and east a little bit. We've got the Big Stone National Refuge, and they just completed the bike trail from the foot of Big Stone Lake all the way to the drive-through and the refuge. It's all tar now. We also have a number of nice motels, eating establishments too, sit down. We have 4 resorts on the lake, 2 on the South Dakota side, 2 on the Minnesota side. Another thing that's really valuable here are the people. Very friendly. We're Minnesotans, you know. We like to say hi when you meet you on the street, and a very friendly community.
We'll see if Tanner can skillfully land this fish.
Sounds like you're testing me, Mike.
Yep. Done it, done it, done it. Tanner Arndt slowly works his 3+ pounder. He needs this fish. Oh boy.
How about that?
Yeah. Shad pole.
I underestimated him at his first look there.
Yes, sir.
That's 4 or 5 pounder.
Yeah, it is. That ate that little shad pole.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Awesome to see that mixed in with the panfish. Awesome to see. Fun bait to throw. Real nice fish, but we'll get her back.
What do you got, Tanner?
We got a nice crappie coming up here. I actually got to watch that one eat.
Oh,
Just
that's a
casting in
nice
some
one.
shallow rock here.
That's a
And-
nice one.
Yeah. All of a sudden I seen a big silver flash come out of nowhere.
That's the
her.
right kind of big silver flash.
It
right
is.
there.
Take them all day long. Good looking fish. Big Fish Mike.
Big Fish Mike, you betcha, boys. Some guys have it. Whew! It's a big dog. On that paddle tail. Slab-alicious. There it is. Deadly combo right there. Bluegill and a Slab-alicious. Like I said, Big Stone, one of my favorite destinations every year.
I gotta say, it did not disappoint again today. Just a lot of fun. I mean, I'm gonna be having dreams of 1 pound bluegills battling back and forth right next to the boat. That doesn't happen very often. I love Big Stone. I can't wait to come back. So, whenever we come to Big Stone, we always start at Artie's. You come to Big Stone, you go to Artie's, they'll tell you what's biting, they'll tell you where they're biting, and they'll tell you what to use.
Well, as you can see, Big Stone has them. Those bluegills are giants and some really nice crappies. Hey, we had a lot of fun. From all of us at Fish in the Midwest, thanks for stopping by. Be nice to one another, and as always, remember to include a youngster in your next outdoors adventure.